Werewolf here. It just occurred to me, certain parallels between the recent downward spiral of YouTuber influencer Styxhexenhammer666, who's been dressing like a pirate in recent episodes of his show, and the real-life pirate that I think he most closely resembles. That would be Captain Bartholomew Roberts, also known as Black Bart. He was one of the most successful, in that he was notorious pirates from the golden era of pirates, the end of the 1600s to the early 1700s, who modern psychologists would say was going through a midlife crisis, causing him to turn from upstanding citizen sailor to a dreaded pirate. And evidence about his life implies that he may have had a suicidal death wish, which led to his ultimate death in battle. I'll explain more in a bit. Styxhexenhammer believes in occult powers of memetics. Memetics, whether they be the ancient Greek symbols, the Hermetic symbols, which are appropriated by groups like the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and other secretive organizations, to modern-day memes and their influence on our culture. So let's take a look at some of the parallels between Styxhexenhammer, Tar Warwick, and the pirate Bartholomew Roberts. John Roberts was a merchant sailor. He was in his 40s at the time when he was abducted by pirates. And now, Roberts was an experienced navigator, and he had a skill that he could offer the pirates, serving as their navigator. Well, it wasn't long before Roberts was elected captain of the pirate crew. And within just a few years, Robert, who changed his name to Bartholomew, attacked hundreds of ships and fortifications and became one of the most notorious pirates of his era. All the while, he refused alcohol out of character. He read the Bible regularly to his crew out loud and maintained strict discipline, both for his crew and for his own self. A certain sense of character that he would not abandon from his old days. Many historians believe this was an extreme midlife crisis, a term which would later be diagnosed midlife crisis, on Robert's part. What's more, it's believed that Roberts had a death wish. Towards the end of his career as a pirate and the end of his life, he began dressing in a bright crimson-colored coat, which could easily be seen by his opponents in battle from far away, making him a very visible target. Few pirates dressed in flashy clothes, despite how they are depicted in modern pop culture. Roberts also modified the Jolly Roger skull and crossbone flags, giving it his own design, so he could argue that was a meme of his era. Now let's compare his life with the recent downfall of Styxhexenhammer. Now, Styx was doing quite well as a YouTuber and began to crash out recently. True, there were some high-stakes problems in his life, and there is a lot of ambiguity that enshrouds what we know and what some people on the internet think they know about what went wrong. But on top of that, he also made some very obvious bad choices that are right in front of us. It looks like he has a serious problem with alcohol. Many of us believe he's drunk in some of his episodes that he filmed in the middle of the day. Indulging in alcohol, that would be a significant difference from Captain Roberts. But let's talk about how Styx appears to be evading the legal consequences of the charges set against him. which, is ultimately going to make whatever consequences far worse for Styx in the long run. So that gives him a pirate-like, outlaw kind of quality. While within the last year or so, as I mentioned, he's been wearing a pirate hat on his show. Now, as far as the pirate look, I think that's cool. Look, I see a lot of criticisms, I see a lot of haters assuming this is the Peter Pan complex, a sign thereof. Look, those guys are taking things way too seriously. This is a show. It is more entertaining that he's dressed like a pirate. Besides, look what dressing like a pirate did for Johnny Depp. He was at a low in his career. I mean, he was doing some pretty good independent films, but he had fallen out of disfavor with Hollywood until Pirates of the Caribbean. But then again, you could also talk about Johnny Depp's relationship and legal issues with Amber Turd. And the pirate look, that wasn't even an entire episode of Seinfeld. Other memetic aspects of Styx's downfall that I noticed in one of the police body cam videos of Styx being arrested, his girlfriend, who's pressing the charges, is wearing a Styxhexenhammer666 hoodie. What a coincidence at that time. Now, she has her own channel, where she talks about new guys in her life, and she mentioned one guy that is into her that has a 666 tattoo on his forehead. Again, coincidence or occult supernatural phenomenon. You can be the judge of that. Also, in doing some research on Robert E. Howard that I was looking up, the author of the Conan the Barbarian series, I found this photograph of him dressed like a pirate. He looks like he's in his early 20s. Now, he didn't have kids, so he must have been just dressing up as a pirate to do so. Again, like Styx, the guy had a, to a large extent, reclusive life, and a quirky and unusual one. There are a lot of myths and exaggerations that are more famous than the truth about his life, and again, a lot is not known. Anyway, if Styx finally gets his life back in order one day, since he edits old public domain books and publishes new editions of them, one book I recommend for you, Styx, in the unlikely event you're watching my show, is The Buccaneers of the Americas by an actual pirate, Alexander Exalgaman. Now, Exalgaman sailed with an even more famous pirate, Captain Henry Morgan, the guy from the liquor bottle. Now, I'm not endorsing memetic occult philosophy. I don't know what's true or not, but I find it an interesting study. Oh, this flag behind me, this is from the Battle of Plattsburgh, the American Army flag from the War of 1812. Well, anyway, like I said in my other video, A Letter to Styxhexenhammer, I hate to see, after everything he's built for himself, his reputation, I think he could bring it to new heights, but instead, being beset by all of his problems and then compounding that with poor choices like alcohol, I believe he crossed the line with myself and other members of his fan base in January when he made his I'm dying video and never explained that. Is he dying of an... He left us to speculate, some think he was just being hyperbolic, symbolic, maybe he's dying of some long-term illness. We don't know. I feel like he owes us, his remaining fans, an explanation. I was watching the video of Styx's most recent ex-girlfriend, and she makes these videos where she talks about her failed relationships, and she reviews fast food, I guess. So maybe the fast food is a metaphor for an unhealthy relationship, something that looks appealing, but then when you actually get it, it's nothing like as advertised. Anyway, thank you for watching my channel, and until next time, life, liberty, and the pursuit of...